All right, guys. GameStop up to $55 a share. It's just really funny to kind of see how all the people that were like, "Ha ha," were just kind of wrong. Trading has so much egos floating around that like, even if you like a stock that somebody else doesn't like, they get weird. People just get strange. But hey, that's all right. GameStop running up. All right, AMC's still kind of red today. And so interesting. ECB officials, GameStop up. We got non-farm payrolls today. Huge day. So GameStop disclosed first quarter 2024 results, which is what's causing the gap up here. They're not going to be holding a conference call today. They say long-term debt remains limited to low-interest unsecured term loan associated with French government's response. Fed under pressure to catch up. GameStop's first quarter in cash equivalents marketable securities at $1.083 billion. They're not going to be holding a press conference. Yeah, so I'll put all this stuff up. It's up 47% to $46, $55 really. So interesting. Yeah. Here, let me get some music playing. All right, so Unusual Whales is going to be hosting a watch party for Roaring Kitty's GameStop stream. It's scheduled for Friday at 12. Roaring Kitty of GameStop scheduled a live stream June 7th at noon. So tonight. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the GameStop numbers were necessarily good, though. Yeah, so again, I'm trying to get AI to help me out for a second here. Yeah, so here's the numbers. GameStop announced its first quarter results. The company reported sales of $872 million to $892 million. Let me make sure this is right. Yeah, that's right. All right, so yeah, Roy and Kitty scheduled a stream. GameStop reported quarter one results and more. So again, I'm trying to get this scroller built so we can see it. There we go. It's good enough. All right, so here's the banner. Yeah, their earnings weren't good. Yeah, I mean, Sam, it's $50 a share right now. I wouldn't really call it a penny stock. And it's just major market news, brother. You know, we're going to be covering non-farm payrolls. But of course, we're going to cover this as a stock market channel, bro. You know, if that bothers you, it's okay. But you'll be all right. And I'm in GameStop, you know, and I'm up hundreds of percent. So, I mean, you know. Of course I'm covering it. With that said, though, GameStop now dumping down. Yeah, so non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls are expected today at 186,000. I'll put this up on screen as well. All right, so yeah, NFP data is expected today at 186,000 with unemployment expected at 3.9%, which is what it was last time. Both drop right here at 8:30. Nvidia holding at the 1200 level. Let's see. Yeah, so again, I'm not shocked we're getting a pullback. Let me see what this pullback is from in GameStop though. So GameStop dipping hard right now. I'm not sure why. GameStop files to sell up to 75 million shares. So we figured out why GameStop is dropping. They announced a 75 million share dilution offering. Yeah, this is why, chat. So again, they just filed to sell up to 75 million shares. 75 million shares. Kind of a crazy amount here, you know? Like, this is not a small percentage of their float. It's like 20% or more of their float, I'm pretty sure. That's kind of a big offering, a big amount of dilution. I just think their timing's off. Like, I get it. Like, you have to understand why, okay? So GameStop, you know, the only way these companies make money if they're struggling is if they sell and dilute shares when prices are high, right? So if it's an ATM offering, they're going to be selling shares at, you know, 50, 45, you know, whatever the offering price is. And they're going to make more money than they would if they sold shares at, you know, $10, $15. They're going to make, you know, 2 or 3x more money if they do it. So you can't get too mad at them for it. I mean, they're just trying to survive, and I get it. But I just think it's bad timing. Like, let your stock run a little bit. I think it could go higher if you just didn't dilute it every time it spiked. So I disagree with that. But, you know, I digress. It's all right. But look at the dip. Yeah, I get it. They're making money. I'm not too upset with them. But that's what happened, is that they announced an offering. And honestly, it's kind of back up to 46. Let's see if it holds. Let's see if we can get over that previous close. You see the previous close right here. That's the level you want to watch. See, AI is so good, dude. I can ask it. I said, did GameStop just file for a $75 million offering? And it said, yes, GameStop. Oh, wait. GameStop recently completed an at-the-market ATM equity offering program, raising approximately $933.4 million. This offering involves selling up to 45 million shares. So this is a larger offering than that, though. All right, so yeah, GameStop announced the $75 million ATM equity offering program today. It's going to allow the company to sell up to $75 million worth of its common stock from time to time. The proceeds from this offering are intended to be used for general corporate purposes, acquisitions, investments, and strengthening the balance sheet. So yeah, it's going to help the company. I've always been one that told people that offerings are probably okay for companies, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's risky to announce this right now. It's just risky to announce it right now. I'm not sure why they're announcing it. Yeah, I mean, shareholders obviously are not going to like more dilution, especially after they already diluted over the last couple months. But again, if the company's truly struggling, shareholders are going to be a lot more unhappy if the company straight up files bankruptcy and goes out of business, right? And so these offerings are going to save them from that to a certain extent. And so I don't think they're all bad, but I certainly don't think I don't think it was the right time to announce it, bro. Like, let the stock run, dude. Like, let the stock run. Announce it when it's at 100. You'll make more money, But I guess right now, this is just the filing for the offering. So they haven't actually executed the offering, if that makes sense. They're just filing it. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so we were watching Star Wars with my wife, right? And my wife knows nothing about Star Wars. My daughter and I'm not the biggest Star Wars nerd, right? But my daughter and I got into it when she was little because it gave us movies to watch. And this was right around the time the new trilogy came out. And so we were into it. And so, I showed her the prequels. I showed her the new movies. I showed her the old movies. Like, we kind of watched them all. Anyways, my wife finally got on board with watching them with my son, my 10-year-old son. He's never seen them. And so both him and my wife were completely oblivious to who Anakin Skywalker is, right? So we watched the first one with the pod racers. And my wife's like, oh, what a nice story. You know, I want to see what happens to Anakin. You know, and my daughter and I are kind of like looking at each other behind our back, like giggling, you know. And finally yesterday in episode 2, she figured it out. Unfortunately, they ruined it, man. They ruined it. They should have just let it go. There was a scene in which Anakin gets mad and like kills all the aliens who took his mom. Right? He gets mad. He kills all the aliens that took his mom, basically. And in that moment, he's like, I'm gonna become the most powerful Jedi ever. And my wife was already saying stuff like, I think he goes to the dark side. And I had to just be like, no, you know, that's Disney. You know, they're going to do a character arc and then he's going to come back around. You know, just watch, you know, hoping she would get like a shock from it. Anyways, during that scene, he's like, I'm going to become the most powerful Jedi ever. It played the dun, 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 dun. And then my wife goes, oh, and my wife figured it out. She was like, I know who he is. Unfortunate, man. I was hoping we would get to episode 3, which is the really dark one. But we just didn't get there, unfortunately. I'm still kind of bummed about it. I don't even know if I want to watch them with her anymore. Anyways, GameStop at 41.20s here, 41.20s. Yeah, I couldn't think of what the Tusken Raiders was. Yes, I'm just going to call him an alien. Because that's what they are to me, is an alien, you know. Oh, all right. So, what's your thoughts on AMC and GameStop today? I think they're volatile. I'm watching them. I hope GameStop holds. I'm in it right now, of course. I'm in AMC as well. I hope they all hold and go up, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there, you know. I'm trying to be patient with them and playing with them, but man, they're just volatile right now, man. I'm in them right now. I'm not going to sell. I'll tell you that. I'm not going to sell. I've been in it. I haven't sold GameStop in a minute, I think. I might have taken like a very small piece off, but I don't know. But I'm still in them, and I'm planning to just keep holding them. Yeah, the Nvidia split gets out there. Should leg kicks be allowed in street fights? Yes, they should. Definitely they should. My average price on GameStop is $15.16. So I bought it a long time ago, before any of this latest squeeze. So yeah. Yeah, it'll help the company survive, that's for sure. You know, again, if you don't know what an offering is, there's multiple types of offering. The main one that people understand is the IPO, the initial public offering. Right? This is all selling shares to the public But when you sell more shares to the public and add shares to the float of the stock, it's diluting the company. And so that's why people are upset about this. But on the other end of that, it's just a filing. They haven't actually enacted the offering yet. And what it ultimately means is that the company is going to make money. You know, they're going to have money. They're going to have more cash. And that's good if we want them to actually survive and not just squeeze. All right, GameStop at 43.50s, chat, 43.50s. Better than a reverse stock split, but bad for business. Yeah. I think it's bad timing. But, I mean, honestly, you know, GameStop is moved by the people. You know? And so it's kind of bouncing back right now. Look at this. Back up to 47.40s. Here's a video on the left side. Here's AMC on the right side. So AMC bouncing right off at 5. It's kind of back where it was. It's almost green on the day still, and it's still almost at $50 a share. And so, oh, my bad. I got to switch the chart. I've had this chart up for too long. There you go. Sorry. Not sure why I did that. But, yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, this is not the end of the world right now. And at least the company's going to make money. Appreciate it, Douglas. Thanks, man. Right, for sure, Blaze. Yeah, earnings came out. Remember, we do have payroll numbers today, chat. We do have payroll numbers. I'm excited for payroll numbers, man. It should make some movement. May offer and sell up to an additional 75 million shares. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they did a 75 million share offering. They filed it. They didn't actually enact it yet. So we'll see. Again, somebody else said it. We're not going to hear anything else until they actually follow through and complete it. AMC, do you say non-farm payroll data could move things? Does unemployment numbers really matter? Yes, of course they matter. You know, everybody's telling us, like, look, we get so much nonsense from different people. And I'm not even saying anybody's right or wrong with it. GameStop now technically green on the day, or at least right around it. Yes, technically green on the day over the previous close level right here. So technically green. But yeah, again, we're going to go through this again. So it all matters, right? People, you know, you hear people talk. You know, the public is funny, right? People who desperately want a market crash to happen for whatever reason, which I think is a strange mentality to have, but like, let's go with it. So if people that want a market crash to happen, no matter what the data shows up as, they're going to be upset about it, right? They're going to act like it's the end of the world, like it's some catalyst to a market crash. And very rarely is it actually like that. But typically, you know, lately, over the last year, inflation's been the priority, as it should be. Prices have gone up so much since 2020 and the pandemic. The Fed stepped in after 2020 and the pandemic when jobs were low, when people were struggling, and they lowered interest rates to almost zero. The consequence of lowering interest rates like they did and doing quantitative easing, which is just expanding their balance sheet, it's the Fed buying up bonds and injecting liquidity into that market. It allows banks to lower interest rates to consumers. When consumers pay lower interest rates as well as get stimulus checks, the consequence is that they spend a lot more, right? And that's what spiked inflation up to almost 10% over the following years. And then we had to kind of play cleanup from that. And so what we're in now is that, you know, inflation has gone up so much over the last 5 years and prices don't really go back down, that priority should be inflation, in my opinion. I think we should focus on prices not going up anymore because, you know, people complain about a lot of different things because regardless of what happens, usually the public isn't happy. They're going to find something to be upset about. If it's too little people working, they're going to complain about a recession or depression. If it's the complete other side of it, right, the other side of it, which is inflation spikes, they're going to complain about prices, right? So, but I think prices are the main priority right now. I don't think we should cut rates, even though we have seen the Bank of Canada cut rates over the last week. Yesterday, we saw the ECB cut 25 basis points in interest rates. And so I think, you know, other banks are cutting rates, but I don't think it's time for us to yet. I think we should focus on getting inflation really under control. Next week we have CPI data, and that's a big report that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to for inflation. I'm pretty sure unemployment, you know, prices have been high, but unemployment's been low. Payroll numbers have been strong, right? All of these things signal economic growth, and so I don't think we're anywhere near a recession or depression like you hear some people say, but anything could happen. But I also don't think that everything's all rosy. I think prices are up way too much over the last 5 years, and you know, we're not going to get them to go back down. We just got to get used to them and just hope prices don't spike again and inflation spikes again, which is again a reason why I think we should keep interest rates high. You know, the Fed keeps interest rates high to discourage spending and combat inflation, and that's what we've been doing. And of course, we're getting pressure from real estate people in real estate, agents, mortgage brokers, you know, lenders in general working at banks, because of course they want business, right? And when interest rates are high, they have less business for sure, and so that's their bias. But you know, I don't know. I think we should keep interest rates high. Yeah, let me put a timer up so we can figure out when non-farm payrolls are dropping. It's which is going to be in about an hour and 22 and a half minutes or so. So this is when NFP data drops right here. it's still going up. Well, yeah, but it doesn't go back down. That's my point, right? That's why when you hear people scream, oh, we're hurting the country, we need to bring interest rates back down. I disagree. I think we're hurting the country by bringing interest rates back down and causing inflation to spike up even more. Because again, inflation doesn't go down. It never does. It's not like, that's not a reasonable expectation. That's not a complaint, is I guess my point. Because inflation doesn't go down. The best we can do is hope to slow it down. If you look at the CPI graph over the last 20 years, I show this graph many times, but I'm going to show it again. If you put up a CPI graph over the last 20 years, there's only a couple times in the last 20 years that inflation actually went down. Really, the only major period was in 2009, right here, right? That was the only time in the last 20 years where prices have actually gone back down, and that was following a recession or a depression. And so we went under for a little bit in 2015, roughly, but we bounced right back up in prices. So, but again, Fed brought interest rates really low here. They brought them down to almost zero, trying to contribute to more spending after the pandemic, as they probably should have. But the consequence is that inflation spiked up to almost 10% right there. We got it back down through rate hikes and by quantitative tightening, which is basically the Fed taking liquidity away from the bond market, and this causes banks to keep interest rates high. And so we forced interest rates to go back up, and so inflation got a little bit more manageable. It's back down to like 3.5%, and it's been there for a while. But, we can't really deal with, again, people think they're unhappy now. They're really going to be unhappy if prices spike up another 9% this year. Then they're really going to be unhappy. So I think it's important to get it under control and keep interest rates high, and you're just going to have to ignore the pressure that you get from real estate agents and realtors and lenders and mortgage brokers, because they'll be okay. Why is Europe lowering? They have the same inflation, if not higher. I mean, honestly, Europe does a lot of things different than we do. Europe and the Bank of England will do a surprise. We haven't gone against expectations for rate decisions, and really against the probabilities for rate decisions. And all year, we haven't gone against that. You've seen the Bank of England, you've seen other central banks shock people and go against the expectations and do a surprise rate hike or a surprise rate cut. So I'm pretty sure, let me see. I'm pretty sure the ECB, this isn't, let me see, I'm not sure. I'm trying to see when, hold on. I wish they gave me a decision graph for the ECB, like an ECB graph. Okay, so yeah, here's their first cut. Yeah, I don't know. I think regardless of what they do, we should keep interest rates high. All right, let's see what else we got today. GameStop coming all the way back down under the previous close. Nvidia did bounce up to 1206. If GameStop can hold flat, I think is good leading up to the stream today. All right, guys. Hey, my guy, thanks so much, Usman. GameStop will start market. Yeah, 3.9% doesn't spell crisis to me either. Yeah, I mean, again, unemployment's relatively low. Relatively low. And we'll see what the number comes out today as. Again, the problem is like this. I think a lot of people are really susceptible to doom and gloom, especially during election years. You know, a lot of people are susceptible to, it's the end of the world, you know. Like, you got to understand history of politics, like during election years. And I'm not rooting for either side. I don't really care about either side. I dislike both sides pretty evenly, to be honest. I'm very neutral politically. But you have to understand that whichever side has the power, the other side is going to try to make you think it is the worst it could ever possibly humanly be right now, is what they're going to try to make you think during election years, right? This is Politics 101. A lot of people get really wrapped up in it, and they get really susceptible to it, and they start, you know, to be honest, the world is nowhere near the worst it could ever be, right? If you look back at the last century, the world's been pretty messed up, and not right now. I'm not saying things are perfect and rosy, but, you know, think about World War II and the events that happened there. Like, it's just, you know, people exaggerate and sensationalize things. All right, so yeah, GameStop at 44. So again, they didn't actually do the offering. They simply filed for a 75 million share offering. So we're not going to hear about it until they're either done with the offering. But typically the reaction is negative. You know, 75 million shares, when you look at GameStop's float, GameStop has about, 277 million shares in the float right now? Yeah, about 270 million shares. So this percentage-wise, 75% is a pretty big float, big percentage of their float. So, like, if we look at it, 270, this is about 25 to 30% of their float for GameStop. That's a big amount, big number. Yeah, well, that's all due respect, buddy, the world is messed up. Now, I'm not saying it's not, dude. I think y'all are missing my point. Of course the world is messed up now. The world's always messed up. Look back at the last 150 years. Is there any point in time where the world was not messed up? You know? Thus is life, sir. You know? I'm not saying it's not messed up. What I'm saying is that it's not at the worst it could ever be, you know? Please today, going short or long. I have no idea, Usman. I appreciate you becoming a member, brother. I have no idea what the market's going to do today. I hope it goes up. You know, we have non-farm payroll data dropping live at 186,000 is what's expected for non-farm payrolls. It drops at 8:30 in about an hour and 15 minutes. We also have unemployment dropping at 8:30. It's expected at 3.9%. Yeah, so Roaring Kitty has scheduled a live stream for midnight tonight. That's the crazy thing. We'll see what happens there, but it'll be interesting to see how much it goes up. Again, I'm holding it, of course. I'm not going to sell it. I just think GameStop was wrong with their timing. I think their timing here was off. They should have let it run. You know, but again, it might not be the end of the world. GameStop, I think if it holds here, I think that's a W for it. I think if it can just hold here, it's doing good. Let's see if it does, though. If it can just hold here, it's doing okay. Right. Mom sent me a Time magazine picture from 1968. The pictures were nothing but protests from that year. Nothing has changed exactly. Right. The big difference now is that we have 24/7 news coverage and cameras with the technology capable of getting all of it. And so we can digest all of it now. The world's always been messed up, you know. The difference is that we have cameras filming everything now. So, and before it would take, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, it would take weeks to get major market news or major news in general. Now it takes 5 seconds. And everybody's got a camera too. So that's the difference. Yeah, 12 a.m. I don't think it's 12 p.m. Let me see. I think it's technically 12 a.m. But I might be wrong. Let me see. Oh, you're right. It's 11 a.m. You're actually right. So Roaring Kitty live stream is at 12 p.m. Eastern time. You're actually correct, sir. My apologies. You are actually right. But yeah, so far it's got 17,000 people waiting. Go and comment. The chat over there is crazy too. Yeah, GameStop again, 75 million share offering. Oh, they got slow mode on. So yeah, so the comments over there are funny. All right, guys, we got an hour and 9 minutes left. Roughly an hour and 10 minutes left. $48 seconds. All right, we'll go do something else. But yeah, Nvidia's still sitting over 1,200, so that's a nice sign. Yeah, no, you're right. Y'all are right. Hit the live button next to the play button. Yeah, I mean, I'm really anti-political. We're not going to argue about politics, chat. I really am very neutral, very middle ground politically. I don't really care about the whole realm of politics. I dislike all of it, and I just avoid it when I can. All I'm trying to say is, like, I hear people all the time predicting stock market crashes regularly here, and they've been like this for years. Some of the biggest haters are probably people who predicted crashes back here. Everybody told everybody the market was about to crash right here. Right here, everybody was like, the market's doomed. It's the end of the world. John's dumb because he can't see the market's about to crash. And so I said, okay. I told him the biggest edge in history in equities is that the NASDAQ, the S&P are usually going to go up over time, right? No matter what, even with crashes included, they go up about 10% a year on average, including crashes, which means that good years, they're going to do much more than 10%. Like last year, we did 24% in the S&P. And so betting against that edge is dumb. It's just not smart. It's going against the biggest edge the market ever gives you. Yet you got a bunch of Michael Burry clones out here trying to call the next big market crash, which ironically means it's probably not about to happen, because if everybody thinks the market's going to crash, it usually doesn't. And so, a lot of people justify these crash predictions by talking about how bad things are or whatever it is. But in general, the biggest edge is on the upside. And so even if I'm wrong about long-term trades, I can usually dollar cost average into blue chips, and they're going to make me money. And so I guess my point is markets are probably going to keep going up, business as usual. Maybe we crash. If we do crash, I'm probably buying dips. That's usually what I'm going to do. If we dip huge percentages, I'm not buying penny stocks, really. I'm not buying like terrible companies like penny stocks. But I will buy blue chip healthy companies, and I will buy some like GameStop, AMC. I'm in those companies as well. But yeah. Again, everybody told me the crash was going to happen here. We ended up buying on this big pullback instead. Crickets as it went higher, and that's kind of how it goes. My point is, don't be too susceptible to people just yelling market crash every other day. Usually they're wrong. Very rarely have they ever been right. And eventually, if you keep throwing darts at a dartboard, eventually it's going to hit it. So eventually we are going to crash, but it doesn't mean it's anytime soon. And maybe it is. I think the argument for a crash is more so Nvidia's up so much short term that if Nvidia starts to correct, maybe that'll mean other things start to correct quickly as well. And that could cause a big sudden drop in markets if it corrects large enough, fast enough. But I think that's a hard thing to happen. I think AI really is that game-changing technology that influences the world in a much more powerful way than people realize. I think you're going to have an exponential growth in production of technology from AI because you can just produce much more things with it than before it. So we really appreciate with help. We are strong in your side. Hey, thanks, Usman. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at the Roaring Kitty live stream. It's chaos. Big boys are now panicking. Yeah. People are saying the offering messes up the execution. The play was the makers couldn't locate shares. Now they have shares to find. Y'all think that's accurate? Yeah, again, I'm going to ban the Survivor guy. He's gotten, like, hypercritical. I tell you guys, I have to repeat the same thing. Just because I always try to give kind of a rundown in markets and talk to the stream. And so, of course, I'm going to have to repeat the same things. I stream for 4 hours every day. Of course, you're going to hear the same thing sometimes. And that's not an unreasonable expectation. And so, for whatever reason, he's probably somebody that also got banned before. He just kind of sits around looking for things to critique, and then, So, good day to you, sir. Hey, man, what do you think? Internet created a lot of jobs. AI will take a lot of jobs away. I think it's going to take some jobs away, certainly. Specifically, the major ones are creative works. I think AI is going to impact creative jobs a lot more than people realize. I think writing, the easy one to see is writing. Writers, especially nonfiction writers, like writers about nonfiction specifically, like writers about real things and technical writers, they're going to lose jobs because you just don't need them anymore. AI can produce a better quality technical writing than you can in a much faster and easier and cheaper way. So that's the number one is going to be impacted by it. The other one is going to be digital design and editors, right? Those guys are in trouble because AI can now design things faster. Digital designers are in trouble. There's just a lot of artwork and artists, specifically art-related jobs that are on, that are in trouble. I think that's very clear to see with AI. But I think AI is also going to create other jobs as well. It's not like it's only going to be a net loss of jobs. I think AI will create other jobs as well, and create other businesses too. Yeah, well, I banned him already, Pawn. I hope it goes up, but please stop spamming Mimi. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I hope it goes up. You know, the offering news definitely put through a wrench in the upward momentum today. But if it holds over 40, I still think it's an optimistic, positive sign. Someone needs to code. Well, AI can code. It might be spaghetti code, but it can code. Yeah, well, the stock split is enacted, I think, Monday, Arif. So I think Monday you're going to see the change in NVIDIA price, but I'm not 100% sure. You know, I think, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Does the NVIDIA price, NVIDIA, the offering starts Monday with the different price, no? Yeah. All right, guys, we got an hour. Respect for not pandering to the GameStop community. I mean, listen, I'm in GameStop and AMC. I think they tuned into my stream because they know I want AMC and GameStop to go up, and I cover the news, and I like the stocks, you know. And so I don't need to put it in my title. They know I'm going to talk about it, and so they're joining the stream anyway. That's why we got 700 people here at 7:30 in the morning because of that, you know. So, hey, what's up, David? I'm getting better at gi jujitsu. I'm getting better, you know. I figured out what my skill set is. I know what I'm bad at, too. I'm good at takedowns and takedown defense, specifically. It's hard to take me down. And I'm good on the top. Like, if I have top control on you, I'm good at breaking guard, passing guard, getting mount, going offensive, you know, triangles from mount and all that stuff. So I'm pretty good at that stuff. I'm terrible on the bottom though. So I can hold up my guard pretty well, but if somebody gets into side control, I'm freaking over with, you know. I don't know, dude. There's something about like somebody gets a really deep side control. It's super man. It's claustrophobic is the best way to in a gi. I'm fine if it's no gi. I love no gi much more, to be honest. But in a gi, I freaking hate it. We got this judo black belt guy from Korea. He's really nice. He's like him and I have become friends at my gym. But he's a black belt in judo, you know. And so the first couple times he tried to throw me, and he just kind of turned his back to me, and so I just snatched his back up and rear naked choked him. But if I pull guard on him and he gets side control, I can't freaking move, dude. I can't freaking move. It's called what is it called? Case of Gatami. Freaking case of Gatami from this judo guy is a problem, you know. It'll take me all round to get out of that freaking case of Gatami. You're good in debates. Top 3 debaters in the world right now. Yeah, the baseball bat choke. I'm not really a big fan of the baseball bat choke. I don't like giving my back to anybody, you know. And I know you don't have to with the baseball bat choke, but I'm just not a big fan of it. I've just never used it very much. I'll try it from side control. Well, dude, this dude is a judo black belt, and so like the difference between judo is like judo, you can only stay on the ground for like 40 seconds or something. So if you don't tap him out in 40 seconds, as well as like they teach you he was showing it to me yesterday. They teach you a very specific way to hold side control. It's a little bit different than jujitsu, but the pressure, like, you know, my arm is like way up here and I can't freaking move, and I just got to kind of sit there. I'm getting cross-faced in side control, and I just kind of got to sit there. It's not fun, man. It's not fun. But he's good. He's really good sport about it. He's going from like being super high level in judo to jujitsu white belt, and like it's fun to, you know, he's still really good. Still really good. Attack the legs on judo guys. I haven't really run into too much problems with them, unless he gets side control. Like usually I can, you know, the problem with judo is that they're vulnerable to back takes, because when they try to throw you, at least this guy said his game was like whatever the, you know, when he turns his back to me completely and tries to throw me over his shoulder, you know. And so usually what I do is I just kind of get my hooks in on his back and take his back, and, you know, thank you for your back, sir. But he's learning how to not do it. He's a good dude. Korean guy, doesn't speak a lot of English. Really nice guy, though. Really strong, to be honest. Anyways, going back to stocks. GameStop now under 44s. Under 44s at 42s. Nvidia at 1205s. The Q bounced directly off of the previous close. Directly off of it. I'm not going to talk about how big my positions are or anything like that. I'm in GameStop at 15.16, and I've been in it for a long time. That's all I'm going to say. Not going to go any more in depth about it. I'm in AMC as well. I'm definitely down on AMC, though. I'm down on AMC. My average price in AMC is 10.53s. So we'll see what happens there as well. All right, guys. We still got about an hour. Chat, about an hour. Yeah, again, the live stream is going to be at 11 a.m. I'm a big fan of your report coverings. I was wondering if you're planning to host a stream during Apple's WWDC this year. I don't think I usually cover it. You know, I just don't think I usually cover it. I think, you know, I usually cover two major, like, if we're talking about stocks, I cover two major stock conferences. One of them is Tesla's conferences. So if Tesla debuts something, I cover that. If Nvidia has a conference, I covered that. Like earlier this year, we did Nvidia, and it was fun, and they debuted a lot of cool stuff. But yeah, the old days. How it's affect crypto market, bullish or bearish? No idea, bro. No idea. Please stop spamming. Can you please help me understand SDOW and how my calls go from negative 107 to up 44K, then within minutes to 13K, then back to 2K, and I'm up again, and I'm all over. Lost. I have no idea, Victoria. It probably has to do with the Greeks. I would research what the Greeks are and figure it out. I'm not the options guy, to be honest. SDOW is a, is this a Dow? What is the underlying asset of this stock? Is it the Dow? Yeah. Well, no, he's been trying it in Gi, but he's good. He's a good dude, man. He's. Elon is like you, genius and badass. Okay, now it's just too much, bro. Like, too many compliments. Top 3 least geniuses in the world right now for me, you know. All right, guys, Nvidia at 1204s. Q up there to 463s. I'm still in AMC. We'll see what happens. Again, we got non-farm payrolls and unemployment today, chat. All right, guys, we got over 7. Watch JP Morgan. Yeah, I haven't wanted to buy banks. Banks have been up so much. GoPro has lost a lot of interest. Technology growth has stifled GoPro's growth. It's too easy to replicate what GoPro is now, I think, for them, and I think that's causing them problems over time. Yeah, I have no idea, Victoria. Again, that's just not my realm. You guys know me. I'm honest if I don't know about something, and I have no idea why that would be moving like it is. No, genuinely no idea. Good luck. I hope you make some money, though. All right, so yeah, also the other thing, people are talking about Rory Kitty being a billionaire if GameStop can hold over 65. Yeah, I don't know. It's not there yet. Will he be a billionaire today? Do you think GameStop will eventually retake 50 at some point today? I don't know. Again, regardless of disclaimers or anything like that, yeah, of course, I'm going to preface this with, remember, I am terrible and I have no idea what I'm talking about. Might be wildly wrong about anything I say. This is entertainment only. Wins or losses may be conducted off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations, all that good stuff. But yeah, I really don't know. I hope it does. I want it to go up. I think it can. It depends on what happens today at 11 a.m. Central Time, 12 p.m. It depends on what happens at 12, at noon today. At noon today, if Roaring Kitty says some really positive, optimistic things, then we could get some craziness today. But it depends. It's all relative to what he says. So psychologist Laszlo Polgar theorized that any child could become a genius in a chosen field with early training. As an experiment, he trained his daughters in chess from age 4. All 3 went on to become chess prodigies. A genius, his mantra was, quote, "A genius is not born. He or she is educated and trained," end quote. I believe that too, man. Kids' brains are the most powerful when they're young. When they're young and you teach them things early. That's why there's this thing that if you teach a kid Mandarin, starting from a very early age, it broadens his brain to be much more powerful by the time he gets older. That bilingual aspect of it does like grow. GameStop released earnings. Yeah, so their earnings were not great. So again, you can read it at the bottom of the screen here to a certain extent. But GameStop did release earnings. They posted 12-cent loss per share in margins on EPS, missed the 9-cent estimate, lost sales of $881 million. They missed $995 million. So yeah, they missed EPS and revenue. The question is, so does this mean they're not reporting? When were they scheduled to report their earnings here? Oh. Was GameStop scheduled for today? Did I just miss it? I guess they were, huh? Again, they're not going to do an earnings call. It's okay. Do you ever trade in pre-market? I mean, I'm already in. Yeah, I do trade in pre-market pretty regularly. But I'm already in a bunch of stuff, right? Like, I'm already in, a very large portfolio list here. It was scheduled for 6/11. So I'm assuming they're not going to be covering it then next Tuesday either. Yeah, so it's interesting. All right, guys, we got 45 minutes before non-farm payroll data comes out. Very big release today, chat. Very big release. Yeah. Non-farm payrolls drop once a month. We also have unemployment dropping today. It's expected at 3.9%. The question, again, guys, we're going to talk about this again. We say this pretty regularly, but we're going to say it again. The question really is this. Does the market want more or less payrolls? Conventionally, obviously, the market wants more payrolls. But I think right now, we're in a position in which inflation is a worry, a risk. People are scared of it. And I think with that, we're in a tricky spot where more payroll numbers could mean more inflation problems, and the market might be afraid of that. All right, so we're going to do a poll. All right, so again, does the market want higher or lower payroll numbers, chat? Vote on that poll. That poll is now live. We want rate cuts. Who does? I don't. I don't think we should cut rates right now. I think we should keep interest rates high, discourage spending, combat inflation. I think the earlier we cut rates, the higher probability that inflation is going to spike. And when it starts to spike, it can get really out of control really, really fast. And so again, I'm not one of those people that thinks we should cut rates soon. I think we get a lot of pressure, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they decided to announce it today. It's weird. Yeah, so somebody put in a 2 weeks notice. It said, quote, "Hey Bill, just wanted to let you know I am putting in my 2 weeks notice today, 6/5/2024. Deep effing value, aka Roaring Kitty, aka Keith Gill, is going to exercise his call options on or before 6/21. These options allow him to purchase 12 million shares at $20 per share. As you know, those shares do not exist and the hedge funds are screwed. Mother of all short squeezes is here. I will no longer need employment as I will be on a rocket ship to the moon and will not be returning. Best regards," pun intended, signed, soon to be rich person. Yeah, hey, I'm for it. Let's see if it happens. Yeah, you just wonder why GameStop reported their earnings 3-4 days early when Roaring Kitty was set to go live. It's interesting. The Q has actually spiked up a lot. I'm trying to see what stocks drag the Q up. Let's see. So the Q is up a lot. Let me see. Apple's up a little bit. Amazon is up a lot. Google's up a lot. AMD's up some. Nvidia. Why is the Q spiking back up like it just did? Look at the big spike in the Q. Does anybody know why? I look at Apple. Let's see, what other? Microsoft, Tesla. No, nothing's really dragging it up, I would say. It's funny how a movement that is attempting to manipulate the market complains so much about market manipulation. I don't know. I think that I'm not trying to manipulate anything. People ask me what's going to happen. I always tell people I have no idea. You know, people are like, "Hey, John, what's going to happen?" No idea. But I'm not mad at it. You know, again, I'm just kind of watching it happen. I'm not really upset about it. The way I see it is like the hedge funds are manipulating things. And so if you can't beat them, join them. You know, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's reactive manipulation, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of strange stuff going on today. So again, not only that, but the company announced the 75 million share offering today. So I think, in my opinion, they should have just let it run. They didn't actually enact the offering. It's just filed. It's a 75 million share at the market offering, so it's just filed, so they can do the offering anytime they want. But 75 million shares is 25-30% of their float, so it's not a small offering. I'm not sure why they decided to do it today when Roaring Kitty was scheduled to go live. I'm not sure why they released earnings 4 days early, with everything going on as well after the crazy run they had yesterday. Now, I guess I understand the offering aspect of it, because again, the point of an offering is to sell shares at the highest price possible, right? So if you wait for the stock to come all the way back down, you essentially gain nothing from the higher price in the stock. So I understand that aspect of it, but I do think there's some strange things going on. I think it's weird. Yeah, they should have let it run to me, but, it's all good. Hey, we got about 900 people here live. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I am going to throw this in sub-only mode, chat. So, yeah, I am going to throw this thing in sub-only mode. So, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Let's keep the growth up. Again, Roaring Kitty goes live today at 11 o'clock Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, so again, hit that subscribe button, chat. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Alright, so yeah, kind of reading up on other news here. The other big story is NVIDIA over 1200s. Let's see if that holds as well. You can see $1,200 right there. GameStop sitting right at the low. Right at the low of the day. We'll see if it holds. Maybe it acts as support. Yeah, man, the filing is the crazy part. Tesla up today, too. It's at 177s. Big gains yesterday for it. Hey, thank you, Robert. Roaring Kitty's supposed to go live at noon today. 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when he's supposed to go live. 12 p.m. All right, guys, we got 900 plus people here, almost 1,000. Yeah, so they reported earnings 3 days early. Again, I'm trying to see what stocks are up dragging. Like, look at the Q spike. What made this spike happen in the NASDAQ? So look at this spike. Does anybody know what made this spike happen? The NASDAQ ended up ripping up some. Yeah, so the stock split for NVIDIA goes live Monday. Out of non-farm payrolls, unemployment and average hourly earnings, which gives more impact on gold and U.S. dollar. I see a sell. What's the bias on gold? Gold right now, let's take a look. Gold is down a lot. Gold is down from basically 2400s to 2350s. I'm not sure why it's down so much. If we look at gold on the left side here, here's gold futures. They are down a significant amount over the last couple minutes. Again, today we have non-farm payrolls and unemployment dropping in about 30 minutes. 30 minutes exactly. AMC bouncing back up. GameStop bouncing back up a little bit. You can kind of see AMC stock on the left side here. AMC is moving up a little bit, but still down. Non-farm payrolls are expected at 186,000. Unemployment expected at 3.9%, chat. 3.9%. Again, today's a crazy day. We got a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button if you haven't already as well, chat. Hit the notification bell. We appreciate it. Let's keep the growth up. Everybody's pretty hyped for everything today. Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA has the split, so the 10-to-1 split. If you don't know what that means, it means that NVIDIA price is going to be 10 times cheaper starting Monday. Meaning NVIDIA price is going to be, if it stays at this level, it's going to be about $120 a share for NVIDIA. About $120 a share. So, again, we'll see if that holds. GameStop back over $40 here. The Q, again, spiked up. I'm not sure why. We did have some other news releases today, specifically Mexico inflation came in a little bit better than expected. So that's not bad. Yeah, we still got 30 minutes. We got about 1,000 people here already. So again, today's a big day, to be honest, chat. These payroll numbers, usually we get some people here for these numbers. Can you talk a bit about how the non-farm payroll data will affect the U.S. dollar and future rates? I believe I understand, but I want to hear it from someone else. Thanks. So, okay. The stronger the payroll numbers are, okay, the higher the payroll numbers are, the less likely we are to cut rates, as well as, I believe, the market might react negatively to that. But I'm not sure. It depends on what the market wants. Like, I think inflation is a problem. And so I think it could go in a couple different ways. I think, number one, inflation is a problem. And people fear inflation. They fear economic growth to a certain extent. At least they have. Now, that might be changing a little bit. And I do see some signs that might be changing. But generally, people fear inflation. And so higher payroll numbers signal more potential inflation problems and less likelihood of a rate cut, in my opinion. So it depends on what the market wants. If the market wants a rate cut, higher payroll numbers is going to be worse for rate cuts and also signal more inflation problems. And so I think higher numbers will make the market go down. I think higher payroll numbers will make the Dixie go up because of that. The dollar index will probably go up because, number one, it means more dollars are being spent in payrolls. So the Dixie's probably going to move up if higher payroll numbers come out. But I think the market's going to move down inversely to the Dixie. And I think higher payroll numbers will signal less likelihood of a rate cut. Again, just speculating. No idea if that's for sure or not. No idea if that's true or not. We're just guessing here. It could also go the other end. We never really know. We could have something in which the market moves a little bit more back to convention, in which, higher payroll numbers is seen as an optimistic thing for economic growth. And so in that regard, the market moves up from it. But I think that's less likely. All right, guys. AMC, GameStop both bouncing back up. GameStop back up to 42s. AMC up to 540s. The Q is still moving up. It's at 464. So what's the lifetime high on the Q? So the lifetime high on the Q is 464.50s, chat. So here's the lifetime highs on the Q. 454, 464.54. Whoa, look at this drop. I don't know if this might be the 8 a.m. scrum, but it's a little late. It's 8:05 market time now. It's a little late for this. Strange. Yeah, I mean, I tend to think, Robert, that the higher payroll numbers are, the more negative the market will respond, and the better the Dixie will respond, personally. Yes, that was just the 8 a.m. scrum. That's where my head is at. But again, my bias is inflation is a problem. Prices have gone up so much. We can't really handle more of it. We need to keep interest rates high. And again, if higher payroll numbers, I do think higher payroll numbers will be good in that it'll keep interest rates high for longer. It just might signal more inflation problems. So I don't know. We'll see. I think if payroll numbers come in low, the likelihood of a rate cut is higher. And I think if you look at the probabilities on like the CME watch tool, if we have higher than expected payroll numbers and we have more signals for economic growth, like say unemployment comes down at 3.8 or 3.7 versus 3.9% expected, I think if that happens and both of those things show economic growth, we're less likely to cut rates and we're more likely to keep rates high. I think if those numbers come in low, I think if we have lower than expected payroll numbers, higher than expected unemployment, I think a rate cut is more likely. So we'll see. And again, the Fed meeting is next week. I don't think we're going to cut rates next week anyway, but maybe. And again, in the end, like, you get people trying to predict all these different things. Nobody knows what anything's going to do. Nobody knows if the market's going to go up or down. Nobody knows what payroll numbers are going to show up as. And more importantly, nobody knows what the reaction of the market is going to be to the payroll numbers and unemployment. So essentially, we just got to wait and see what happens. Yeah, most of the tool, I think it was like a 45% chance of September. Let me see. So if we look at the CME tool, here's September, right? So it's September, 55%, 56% of people expecting a 25 basis point cut starting in September. So that's what we're showing right now for these. But again, time will tell. We'll see. All right, so Jim Cramer said, quote, again, this is Jim Cramer, not me. Don't get mad at me. This is Jim Cramer. Okay, Jim Cramer said, quote, can GameStop kill its own squeeze? If they sell enough stock, they will be able to buy something that makes money, end quote. What do you think about Jim Cramer here? All right, so Roaring Kitty has added a very long disclaimer to the description of his YouTube live stream. Maybe I should jump on this thing. All right, so again, listen to Roaring Kitty. He says, quote, the Roaring Kitty channel and live streams are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I don't provide personal investment advice or stock recommendations. During the stream, please understand that my style of investing is extremely aggressive and I take on substantial risk. It's likely my approach would not be suitable for you. If you're seeking personalized advice, I encourage you to sit down with a financial professional who can review your situation, financial background, risk tolerance, etc. Check out the Roaring Kitty disclaimer video for more info. Below is the disclaimer that plays at the start of the stream. You should not treat any opinion expressed on this YouTube channel as specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of opinion. Opinions expressed are based upon information considered reliable, but this YouTube channel does not warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. This YouTube channel is not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided in these stream statements, and opinions are subject to change without notice. No compensation is received by this YouTube channel for the opinions expressed. Past performance is not indicative of future results. This YouTube channel does not guarantee any specific outcome or profit. You should not be aware of the real risks, or you should be aware of the real risks of loss in following any strategies or investments discussed on this YouTube channel. Strategies or investments discussed may fluctuate in price or value. Investors may get back less than expected or invested. Investments or strategies mentioned on this channel may not be suitable for you. The material does not take into account your particular investment objective, financial situation, or need, and is not intended as recommendations appropriate for you. You must make independent decisions regarding investments or strategies mentioned on this YouTube channel. Before acting on info in this channel, you should consider whether it's suitable for your particular circumstances and strongly consider seeking advice from your own financial or investment advisor. End quote. So that is it, chat. Top 3 fastest readers in the world here. Whew, I'm out of breath right now. I like it. You know, for somebody whose mantra is "Don't sue me," I love it. You know, you love to see it. Yeah, he lawyered up for sure, which is he needs to. Honestly, he needs to. Yeah, like people get mad that this is my disclaimer, you know, but like, hey, listen, it's necessary. Again, I am terrible, have no idea what I'm talking about, may be wildly wrong about anything I say. Content is entertainment only, and my experiences, win or losses, may be conducted in real time on stream. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. You know, I'm more so take the approach of like, if I tell people I have no idea what I'm talking about and not to copy me, you know, people can't get mad at me for anything. Hey, good luck. Yeah, next week is probably the busiest week of the month, I would say. Next week, we got the Fed meeting. We got CPI and PPI all dropping within 2 days of each other. So, a lot of stuff going on. Next Wednesday is the busiest week of the month. Wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. Yeah, you know how it is. Internet makes people weird. People see people making money on the internet. They get mad that they're not in a better position, and they lash out and get insecure and get weird and try to blame everybody else. Most people lose in the stock market. Like, I always tell people the same thing. Almost all day traders lose money. Doesn't matter who you follow, what course you take, any of that stuff. Most day traders lose money. You know, anybody that day trades will tell you that truth, too, if they're being honest. The problem, again, I talked about the problem earlier. The real problem is you got all these people selling courses on how to get rich day trading. When mostly the people selling the courses know most day traders are going to lose. Right? But they have to embellish things because it's really hard to sell a course if you straight up say, hey, almost all of y'all are going to lose money. It's really hard to sell a course following that. You know, even when I plug a sponsor, and I guess I'll go ahead and plug one now. Even when I plug a sponsor, like Apex is a sponsor of mine. I always tell people the same thing. Most day traders lose money. And that's probably true here as well. Most people that sign up for Apex are going to lose money because most day traders lose. It doesn't matter if you're on Apex or whether you're on Schwab or Thinkorswim or wherever. E-Trade, most day traders are going to lose. And so understand that. It's a lot cheaper to lose on Apex in my opinion, though. And again, Apex is a sponsor. They pay me money. I'm biased. But again, what Apex does is they give you a demo and they test your skill with a demo account. It's a great way to learn day trading with limited risk. You're still risking something, but it's much more limited than if you put up 5K and lose that. Most day traders are going to lose. So if you put up 5K, you're going to probably lose that 5,000. But on Apex, they give you a demo. The base one's a 25K demo. If you can make 1,500 in profit on it without losing 1,500 first and following their rules, they fund you 25K with a 90% split. And so once you're funded, your split is similar to putting the money up yourself. You know, you get a 90% split. You're keeping 90% of your profits as long as you can follow the rules once you're funded. But if you lose, You know, the 25K one's like $30 if you use my link and coupon code. And so limited risk, 90% split once you're funded. I think it makes sense for traders, and I think most day traders should be trading futures as well, because there's no PDT rule in futures. You could day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ directly, which is what the SPY and Q track. So you can day trade what the SPY and Q track in futures, no PDT rule, and the patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. And again, Apex is one of the most legit ones in the world. They pay out millions. They paid out almost $200 million to their traders. They fund thousands of traders. So it's just a great way to learn. And for the time being, you can get the 250K challenge. So the 250K challenge is only $18 right now. If you pass it, you get 250K in funding with a 90% split. You just got to use my coupon code BT. BT, there's the link. Check it out. Great way to help support the channel here. Again, if you want the max discount on Apex at all times, just BT, beginner trading. Very easy to remember. Anyways, with that said, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased. Yeah, because it's so profitable to do so. Blaze says that's why there's so many selling courses or creating discords. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's so look, and again, I don't mean to sound self-righteous. You know, I'm doing this absolutely to make money. You know, like I'm not spending 4 hours every day. You know, y'all are cool. Y'all aren't that cool. You know, and so I'm absolutely doing this to make money. But that's everybody. Everybody doing this is doing this to make money. That's a reasonable expectation. But I say this once, I'll say it again. I'd rather be honest and then make my money on the back end of that honesty, you know, because I think that's the reasonable way to do it. I tell people the truth. I cover economic data fast. So people want a one-stop shop where they get economics, earnings, inflation data, payroll numbers, unemployment numbers. They know they can watch my stream and get it very quickly relative to everybody else. That's why we get thousands of people here. And I can be honest with people about it too. Most day traders lose. It's really hard to sell a course if you tell everybody that they're probably going to lose, right? It's much easier to sell a course if you act like it's a get-rich-quick scheme and you act like, hey, if you just buy my course, guys, you know, you could ride off into the sunset a profitable trader rich. Nobody, like, dude, 95% of everybody that buys that course is going to lose money in trading. You know, it's a very, you know, almost all day traders lose. Yeah, definitely top 3 in the world. They hate me because I'm handsome, chat. Listen, I already know this. They hate me because I'm handsome. And listen, it's, you know, it's the cross I bear, okay? Listen, when you look this good, you know, people are going to hate on you, man. I've just accepted it. You know, I try to be as humble as I can. I think I'm probably one of the top 3 most humble people in the world. Definitely top 3. You know, and I just do my best to, you know, that's the plight I bear, guys. I'm doing my best here, okay? Anyways, GameStop now sitting right at 38. NVIDIA rejecting the 200 EMA. You know, you got this big line of support here. Chat, this big line of support. You can see we got the previous closing price, the 200 EMA, the volume weighted average price. It's all sitting right around the same spot. And so you can kind of see when NVIDIA bounces back to that, what happens? It rejects. You know, it rejects. Why? Because we got all these major levels here. You got some traders that are watching the 200 EMA, the yellow line. You got some traders that are watching the light blue previous closing price. You got some traders that are watching the purple VWAP level. And so again, when they're all right around the same spot, what happens? You get major resistance. So you can see it push up, reject. Another thing is, like, if it breaks over this level and pulls back and actually holds, you know, you get a high likelihood of a bounce, in my opinion, there too. Yeah, definitely top 3 ever in the world. Yeah, definitely top 3 most handsome ever. I love your business model here, John. I can get behind it. Yeah, we try. Listen, we give people good content. We profit on the back end. That's what we do. Easiest way to live off of day trading is to tell everyone how good you are. I mean, listen, you can take my approach. Tell everybody you're the top 3 worst trader in the world right now. And still somehow make money from this channel. Hey, later, David. Have a good day, brother. 90% of people spend 90% of their money within 90 days. I wonder if this is true. I mean, it'd be really hard to vet that. What's up, Peter? All right, guys, we got 1,300 people here live. Data drops in 10 minutes, chat. 10 minutes before this data release. Again, let me know what you think. Do you think payroll numbers are going to come in high or low? High or low payroll numbers. And with that said, what kind of reaction do you think the market is going to give us? I know one thing. If the payroll numbers come in high, people are going to doom and gloom it up. They're going to say, oh, payroll numbers are high. Inflation is the worst it could ever be. It's the end of the world. Inflation's a problem. If payroll numbers come in low, they're going to say, we're going to be in a depression. A depression looms over us, guys. Payroll numbers came in low. You see it with jobless claims yesterday. Jobless claims, which is a weekly report on unemployment filings, came in higher than expected. And what did people say? Oh, it's a recession is coming, guys. Recession is coming. It's a weekly report. Again, what you learn very quickly running a channel is that people seem to make everything's such a huge deal. In line? Maybe. High payroll market down? Maybe. Absolutely. Yeah. Palantir? I'm in Palantir right now. It's been up over the last few days, although it's dipping down today, but I'm green on it. My average price is 19. I actually got in earlier than this in Palantir, believe it or not. But I added to it and it affected my average. Hey, thanks, W. I appreciate it. Yeah, we got a lot of good old content that we've had. John moved farther from the bank so we could laugh longer. Definitely laughing all the way to the bank for sure. What about Coinbase? Is it a good buy? I think that ultimately depends on what happens with crypto. If you believe in crypto, you know, Coinbase might be a good buy. All right, guys, we got 1,400 people here. We got about 9 minutes left. Again, hit the sub button, hit the notification bell. High non-farm payroll probably means a strong dollar in a weak market, I think. I'm only speculating, though. Nobody knows for sure. Where's the fax kit at? Nah. Probably sitting around waiting for another thing to critique me for. I just can't get behind it. Like, look, okay. The fax guy is like, chocolate cake is great. Facts. It's like, that's not a fact. That's an opinion-based thing, you know? Like, that's subjective. I like chocolate cake, personally. But, you know, somebody else might like coconut. Doesn't mean either of them are right or wrong. Boeing. Yeah, I'm in Boeing right now. Looks good. Looks good. Let's see if we can keep going up. I'm in Alibaba as well. It's up as well. I'm in Uber. We bought a lot of stuff the last few days, and they're up a lot. Yeah, we bought Airbnb. We're green on that one. We bought Boeing, Baba, Chewy, Salesforce. We bought Salesforce a couple days ago. We're green on that. CVS. We're green on that one. Home Depot. We added to Home Depot. We're very green on that one. We're still red on Intel, but we're kind of flat. Netflix. We bought it not too long ago. We're green on that one. Roblox. We're green on Roblox. Still red in Snowflake, though. Target, we're still very green, although it did pull back a little bit. Tesla, we're green. Tyson Foods, we're green. Uber, we're green. All right, chat, we got 1,500 people here live. Yeah, there's no way I would risk shorting GameStop. That's a very silly thing to do, I think. Donuts, I get sick if I eat a donut, dude. No, I got out of RTX. Honestly, I was in it for a while. I made money on it, but I sold. I can't remember where I sold. It's been a while. But, man, it had a crazy big resurgence. I can't even get mad at me for selling, though. From October to... from October to February, it's up like 50%. And so
I can't even get upset I sold it back then. In hindsight, I probably would have sold it again. Up 50% is up 50%. I'm not shocked I sold it there. All right, Chad, we got 5 minutes before payroll numbers come out. We got about 1,600 people here live. Hit the subscribe button. Let's look at our poll. We asked people, does the market want higher or lower payroll numbers? 46% say higher, 36% say lower, 18% said I don't know. I don't know what the market wants either. Conventionally, high payroll numbers are good, but inflation-fearing markets, high payroll numbers can be seen as a negative thing. And so I think it's up in the air. I think it could go either way. I'm going to go with what it's been, which is that high payroll numbers equals a negative initial reaction. Who knows what it's going to do? It might bounce back afterwards. But I'm going to go with, if it comes in higher than expected, I think the market initially is going to go down. So we'll see. Again, let me know what you think in chat right now. Yeah, I'm in Roblox. I bought it after earnings down. My average price is 27s. So. Yeah, what's up, Bruno? Hey, thanks, brother. All right, guys, we got 4 minutes, 1,700 people here live. Hit the notification bell. Hit the live button next to the play button. You want to make sure you're fully caught up on stream, chat. If you're fully caught up on stream, you'll get the data as soon as we drop it. And so, again, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Again, hit the sub button. Help me hit 150K. We're at like 141,000. Help me hit 150. We're getting close. All right, next week, crazy busy week. Again, next week we got CPI, PPI, the Fed meeting. A lot of cool stuff dropping next week that should be really highly influential over markets. And so just be ready, chat. We got 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Hey, if somebody tries to send anybody to Telegram, I'm going to ban you. That's what scammers do. Never follow anybody to Telegram. They're going to promise you crazy, unrealistic returns and steal your crypto. Never send it. Never go. If anybody ever tries to drag you to Telegram, they're almost always going to act like they can earn you 50 to 100% or whatever ridiculous percentage they claim. And then when you send them money, you're never going to see them again. They're going to delete the account, block you, and you'll never see your money again. Do not fall for it. They're some of the worst people in the world. Do not do it. All right, chat, here we go. We got a minute and a half left, chat. A minute and a half left. We got about 2,000 people here live. Hit the sub button, chat. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter whether, you know, what it is, Sarah. No sending people to Telegram, bro. Sorry, brother. It's not too risky. All right, guys, we got a minute and a half left. Hit the live button. All right, so we're going to put the SPY, the Q, and I'm going to put the Dixie up on the left side here. All right, so we got the SPY, the Q, and the dollar index. Let's see what this does to the market here. Less than a minute, chat. Less than a minute. Remember, hit the live button next to the play button. All right, guys, 40 seconds. Yeah, I think higher payroll numbers will cause a negative market reaction and a Dixie spike and vice versa, but I could very easily be wrong. I have no real idea what's going to happen here. We can only guess ahead of this report. All right, guys, 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's the report live. Payroll numbers came in at 272, way higher than expected. Way higher than expected payroll numbers. 272 versus 186 expected. Way higher than expected payrolls. Unemployment went up at 4%, guys. 4%. And so again, unemployment higher than expected, payroll numbers higher than expected. Exactly what I said would happen, which is I said I think payroll numbers, higher numbers are going to make the market go down. Exactly what I said. I told you guys the market fears inflation. Higher payroll numbers is going to make the market go down and the dollar index spike. And what happened, guys? The market went down and the Dixie spiked. You're welcome. Again, it might not hold. Sometimes the first move is the wrong move, but the dollar index spiked. Payroll numbers came in very high at 272 versus 186 expected. 272 versus 186 expected. Unemployment showed up at 4%. Chat, 4%. I'll put these numbers up on screen so you can see them. But again, 272 versus 185. 2-month net revision came in at minus 15K, previous minus 22K. We'll put the unemployment number up as well, chat. But again, unemployment showed up at 4% versus 3.9% expected. Unemployment was pretty neutral, but payroll numbers way higher than expected here, chat. Way higher than expected. And of course, like I said, the market does not want this. What this means is less likelihood of a rate cut. Less likelihood of a rate cut. The market's going down because again, if payroll numbers are strong like this, the Fed's less likely to cut rates. Dollar index is spiking up as well. We'll see what this ultimately means in markets. Higher unemployment and higher payroll numbers. We got to understand what the priority one is, Dream. So the big one is the non-farm payroll numbers. Unemployment is not, I'm not saying it's not important, but the more watched one is payroll numbers, NFP data. That's definitely the more watched metric today over unemployment, right? So unemployment coming in 0.1%, worse than expected. It's not really going to be the big influential factor here. The payroll numbers are, though, coming in way higher than expected. 272 versus 180s. So way higher than expected. They came in like 60, 70% higher, whatever that percentage is. Noticeably higher than expected here. About 50 to 60% higher, but still, they came in way higher than expected. Yeah, again, this is predictable, guys. Like, I think people want rate cuts to happen. And so they want to act like the market wants higher payroll numbers, but it doesn't. The market still very much fears inflation leading into CPI next week. Inflation is out of control and rampant. People are scared of it. They do not want more inflation. Prices are not sustainable to go up more. Prices can't necessarily go up more in which the public is going to be happy. If prices spike again, it can get really, really bad. And so when we have way higher than expected payroll numbers like this, the Fed is less likely to cut rates. They're more likely to keep interest rates high to combat that inflation problem. And ultimately, they're less likely to cut rates, like I said, and that might rub people the wrong way. People might not necessarily want that. But again, we're not in a conventional market in which high payroll numbers are going to be seen as a positive thing, high GDP. We're not in that market. We're in a market that fears inflation, and we should fear inflation because after 2020, prices spiked up so much that we can't handle more price spikes. We can't handle more inflation. So higher payroll numbers in that regard is seen as a negative. That's why the market's dropping. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, and again, if you want to check out one of my sponsors, again, check out Apex. Apex, if you want to day trade the futures market, you can day trade the SPY and Q basically in the futures market. Not them directly, but you can trade the NASDAQ E-mini, which is what the Q tracks. Same price action. You can trade the S&P E-mini, which is what the SPY tracks. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks, but there's no PDT restrictions. You can day trade short, buy market, all that good stuff. No PDT rule. And Apex gives you a demo first, and they test your skill with the demo account. If you pass that test, they fund you the same amount, so you can get funding between $25K up to $300K with a 90% split once you're funded, but your risk is noticeably less. So if you want to get started day trading for a very small amount of money, the base one's like, you can get the 250K challenge where if you pass it, you get $250,000 in funding with a 90% split. That one costs $18 right now if you use my link. And Apex is one of the most legit in the world. They've paid out almost $200 million in payouts to their traders. Great way to learn how to day trade because you're still risking something. You're not just trading a regular paper account. But you're risking noticeably less than you would putting the money up yourself usually, and it's just a lot cheaper. When you consider real-time data comes with these accounts, like, the $18 price point is deep value, in my opinion, deep value. But again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, but again, you could try the 25K funding if you make $1,500 in profit without losing $1,500 on the demo they give you. They fund you 25K with a 90% split if you want a smaller account with a more reasonable ratio. There's a lot of options. Check them out. If you want the max discount, use my coupon code BT. Beginner Trading will get you the max discount. Yeah, remember, they're a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. I'm biased. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. Understand I do a trade-off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to check. People say Apex are not going to just blindly approve every payout. They have rules you have to follow for the accounts. But the good thing about Apex is that you can check all the payouts that are going through. They process them twice a month. You can kind of see all the payouts they're going through. So again, look at all these payouts. This is all from June 5th alone. You can see what state they're in, how much it is, 3,000, 3,900, 2,900. Again, you can kind of keep going back here. They process them 2 times a month, right around June 5th, and then as well as the middle of the month. But again, you can kind of see all these payouts going through. So, I mean, yeah. Again, exactly what we said probably would happen happened. Which is the dollar index spiked on higher payroll numbers. The equities market dumped on higher payroll numbers. Well, the discount is using my link. You get 40% off Frost. Would you say it's deep effing value? I had a hard time not saying that when I was doing my plug for Apex. Wolf is refusing to slow down this stock sleeper. Like Wolf from The Office. Like Ryan's company. Yeah, rhythmic accounts have been kind of messed up, but... Oh, you'll have to keep trading on the account to hit their parameters, Matthew, usually. All right, guys. So, again, market is down a little bit. I'm not mad at this correction. What did NVIDIA do? NVIDIA at under 1,200. So, again, here's NVIDIA. GameStop still sitting right around $38 a share. There's the SPY. Yeah, I mean, Phantom, I appreciate the donation. I'm not going to be specific about how much I make, Again, I got enough haters already. It's insignificant, How much I make shouldn't matter. But I appreciate the donation. Thanks so much. Again, I always tell you guys, they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased. I think that's the most reasonable way I can approach it. And I think most day traders lose. I tell people this all the time. Most day traders lose. Right? So I'm not one of those guys that's going to embellish day trading to make people sign up or pay. I would rather just be honest about it. And if they choose to sign up anyway, that's, their decision. Can't really knock me for that, I think, in that situation. But I think sometimes when you make money, people are going to get weird no matter what, right? So, people that aren't making money get kind of insecure about people who do. And so sometimes they spend all their energy trying to critique the ones that do make money instead of trying to build up their own money themselves, and they end up just kind of hurting themselves because of that, right? I see that a lot. Hey, thanks, Golden. Yeah, we hit 140,000. How much of these payroll numbers was for hiring part-time employees? I think there's probably a lot of those. Again, when you hear me talk about the economy being too strong, I'm not saying everything's all rosy, and great, right? I think people misinterpret what I'm saying. The market is certainly, again, the real issue right now is because people have to work a lot to afford things because prices have gone up so much. That's the truth right now. People have to work a lot. And so, yes, unemployment's been consistently low, but it's because people have to work because things are so freaking expensive right now. But that's another reason I think we should keep interest rates high. I think that's another reason we should focus on combating inflation and keeping interest rates high because prices shouldn't go up more. We should try to stop them from going up fast. because if we can't, then people are going to be really, really unhappy. Yeah, you should be able to do that, Christian. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure you can. Yeah, they psyched themselves out of the game. Yeah. How's the S&P faring? So here's the SPY in the middle here. It's down. It reacted negatively to the payroll numbers for sure. Like I said, we probably would, you know. Friday dump. Yeah, again, we got payroll numbers are out. Nvidia's down to 1180s. Again, the SPY is down. The Q is down. Again, what this means, chat, is this signals less likelihood of a rate cut, in my opinion. I use code BT every time I've spent about 2K, so I know bros had a couple beers. I mean, I appreciate it, fans. But again, I think the way you have to look at it, again, it's completely up to you. It's not like I force anybody to buy anything. We don't have any payroll, or we don't have any paywalls behind anything here. So everything we promote is just sponsors of mine, and we're pretty open about it. You know, like I literally, anytime I plug anything, I literally say, hey, this company pays me money, and so I am biased in their favor because they pay me money. What I would say, though, is that if you put the money up yourself, you would be down much more than that. You know, and that's the thing people have to understand. Like all I could do is go by my own experiences. When I first got started day trading, again, I went and saw the movie The Big Short, and I tell this story usually at least once a week. But I went and saw the movie The Big Short, and you know, I was a like a poker player, a chess player. Like I love strategy games prior to seeing the movie The Big Short. And so after I saw that movie, I realized how profitable like markets can be, like financial markets. And so I got really interested in financial markets afterwards. I got home and I Googled day trading. And so what do I get? I get Tim Sykes, Millionaire Students, Financial Freedom, you know, building schools overseas, you know. And so I think day trading, I'm about to just get rich. I think, I'm about to just get rich. It's a get rich quick scheme. If I learn this, I'm just going to be rich, guys. You know, spent a little bit of time learning. I never paid for a course personally. I'm just not the type to pay for courses. But anyways, I put up $4,000 in my own money at the time, and it was a lot of money to me at the time. $4,000 was a lot of money. It was all I had. This was like 2010s. I put up that 4K, and you know, when I put up that money, the idea was to start a YouTube channel based off of everybody else was selling courses. Everybody else was selling services, mentorship programs, and all this different stuff. And I kind of wanted to be an outlier to that. I wanted to be somebody that didn't do that and somebody that just straight up told people I was a beginner. You know, so I called myself Beginner Trading. I started uploading videos to YouTube. But very quickly, I lost that $4,000 within a couple weeks. You know, I remember I bought like 100 shares of blue chip IPOs, IPO day, lost tons of money. I remember I would short crazy big size. I had no risk management, and I just lost all of that money very, very, very quickly. Thousands of dollars. I almost wanted to cry. Carol told me not to do it prior to doing it. You know, Carol was like, John, don't do this. You know, you know, I did it anyway. Thought I was about to get rich, and lost the entire amount. And so I think most day traders lose. And I think if you put up, and you almost have to lose to develop any type of risk management skills, you got to feel that burn. Because you want to avoid that burn once you feel it. If you've never had it before, you're oblivious to what losing feels like. And so what I think these funded account programs really do is they allow you to lose like that for way less than I did. You know, for way less than I did. You know, but again, everybody's different. But yeah, most day traders lose. And I think the problem is you got so many people selling courses and services on how to get rich, but none of them tell people the truth, which is that most day traders are about to lose, you know. Yeah, Mitch was on stream last Friday. He came on stream. So yeah, Mitch and I still a big friend. They're still friends. I went to his wedding. He's just a good dude, man. Good friend. Met him online. I met Mitch when I started beginner trading, when it was like 4,000 or 5,000 subs strong. Mitch was like, Mitch used to watch my streams, and him and I connected, and we turned into like trading buddies that way. And that's how I met Mitch. It was online. Good dude though. Good dude. Yeah, honestly, I almost wanted to cry. If Carol wasn't there, I might have cried, when I lost that 4K. It was not fun, I remember. Can you only trade options? So it's not options, it's futures contracts. The futures market, and I'll go ahead and tell the story of futures. We're going to get ready to start day trading in futures. So I'm about to day trade them now live. We're going to keep GameStop up, though, to watch it. But what futures actually are is that the futures market originated from farmers, right? Farmers would grow crops. When it came time to yield said crops, the prices had fluctuated so much where they were getting beat up in price. They were just losing money. And so what they started doing is selling contracts, locking in a specific price for their crops during yield times to guarantee profits. And speculative investors could in turn, speculate on the prices and try to make money and sometimes lose money. But the farmers would have locked in prices of their crops. It would protect the farmers. But eventually that market grew to where futures are now, where you could just straight up trade. You could trade gold, you could trade currencies in some of them, you could trade essentially the S&P or the NASDAQ directly now, where you could basically trade the S&P and the NASDAQ, the SPY and Q. You could trade the Dow in futures, you could trade the Russell in futures now. So it's evolved past just commodity yields, and now it's everything. But essentially they called it futures because you were betting on the future price of a commodity is what it was. So that was it. Alright, so here is my Apex account. Mitch is an old friend, old business partner of mine. All right, guys. So, yeah, payroll data goes live. The real question is, what does Roaring Kitty say? Hey, we're still growing. We got almost 141,000. Help me hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. We're pushing towards 151 or 150,000. I'm pretty sure you can use Apex in the UK, but I'm not 100% sure. Check with them. Mitch, I'm pretty sure streams for Trade the Pool. If you want to check out Trade the Pool, I'll post the link. They might be streaming right now if you want to see what Mitch is doing. Yeah, he's at Trade the Pool now. Here, I'll put the link up if you want to check them out. I don't think they're streaming right now, but here's Trade the Pool. Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin back up, getting close to lifetime highs again for Bitcoin. Nvidia bounced all the way back up to 1190s as well. We do have this big market resurgence here. I might short a little bit. All right, we're short. All right, so that was futures. We just scalped about $40 in profit in futures. You can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. But like, look, we're up about 40 bucks. This is a 50K funded account on Apex. I'm up about 3 grand in it. Probably gonna take a withdrawal soon, but I'm up about 3K or so in it. All right, guys. Yeah, so check it back here. Let me go back to my regular page. All right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't use Rhythmic right now. I would use Trade-Evade. That's the one I've been using. That's what you see on the screen is Trade-Evade. Yeah, so Roaring Kitty today should be interesting, man. Again, it really should be fun. We'll see what happens. I'm ready. All right, so they're saying full-time workers showed up. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so GameStop did the offering. Yeah, what do you think the first thing Roaring Kitty says today when he starts the stream up? Oh, I did buy myself a picture yesterday. Hold on, when my kids come in here, I'm gonna show you guys. Are casinos open in Colorado? Does Denver have casinos? Hello, followed by a direct disclaimer. I think the disclaimer comes first. Yeah, I think the disclaimer comes first. I might be wrong. I don't know, man. All right, guys. Hey, y'all hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Help the growth. The patterns are very similar to stock patterns, but you can't trade individual stocks directly. You can trade the S&P and the NASDAQ. Like, this is the same price action as the QQQ. If I pull up the Q here, and then we pull up this, like, you'll notice this is the same thing. Like, this right here is the same thing as this, but I can day trade this left side, no PDT rule, versus this where I need 25K in a margin account to do so freely. So that's why futures are useful. All right, here's GameStop. GameStop at 37.40s, 37.50s. Trying to hold. Is the U.S. non-farm results positive for Bitcoin or not? I'm confused. Well, it's positive for the dollar. And maybe people are going to hedge against inflation with crypto. But the crypto market did react negatively to it. If you look at 8:30 when the market dropped, Bitcoin reacted negatively. Probably because the market fears inflation right now, chat. In my opinion, the market fears inflation. And so, you know, I think, I think the market fears inflation. Yeah, so Rhythmic is struggling lately. I would use Trade Evade, not Rhythmic. There's some outside Denver going towards Breckenridge, so probably at the 40 to 60 minutes. So there's none around Denver. I'm not going to share Kitty's stream. Like, I'm not going to live stream Roar and Kitty's stream because, that, you know, again, y'all could just watch him. Hey, John, did you see the post I put in Discord? English. Yeah, I've already answered that, AD. What do you think the number one most common reason the majority of day traders lose? If you could pick one reason, which is your opinion is the biggest, bad risk management and too large of size. Most day traders lose money in the beginning, specifically from trading way too large versus their account. So I think the problem is this. I think the problem is that in order to be seen on the internet from people who don't have a following already, like my luxury, I have a luxury of having a decent $140,000, 140,000 sub following. Hey, bud. Love you, man. You doing all right? Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah.
Love you.
Did you tell him?
Yeah, I told him. Love you. Hey, bring me my picture with the bear. Bring me my picture. Do it. Bring it to me. But no, I think most day traders lose because they simply trade way too large versus. I think the problem is that people selling courses And if people want to be seen online and they don't have a following already, they kind of have to embellish things. They have to act like it's easy to turn 5K into 100K if you just follow their step-by-step system. You know, you could turn 5K into 100K, guys. And I think a lot of people are desperate to believe that's true. And so because of confirmation bias and people so desperate to believe that that's true, I want to believe I'm going to win the lottery 5 days in a row. It doesn't mean it's more likely to happen, but confirmation bias tricks people. And so people end up trying to YOLO gamble their accounts and they just lose tons of money. I think that's one of the main reasons day traders lose. I got this lovely image yesterday, guys. Lovely image yesterday. You know. Well, you don't understand the stock market. Bears are like short traders in the stock market. Like there's bears and bulls. It's the never-ending, universal battle between long and short, bulls and bears. Thank you. Throw it up like right here. Yeah, throw it up right there. There you go. Love you. Thank you. Yeah. You'll love it. Yeah, I meant to say 140,000 subs. But no, because I have that following, I can be honest with people. People that are usually trying to grow online, they just embellish things, man. They act like you can take 5K and turn it. You see a lot of look, there's some great female traders, some great female investors. But you see some of them that obviously it's just kind of a money grab. They start acting like you can earn, there's this one person on TikTok. And she says something along the lines of, here, let me show you. She says something along the lines of she's like, if you just earn 5% every day, within a few years, you're going to have X amount. It's like, oh, just 5%, measly little 5% a day. Like, from people that don't understand the stock market, they might not understand how freaking ridiculous that is. 5% a day? Bro, if you made 5% a day within 5 years, you would be the richest person in the world. Nobody can make 5% a day. It's not a reasonable expectation, but you get people that simply do not understand the math, and they don't understand how unreasonable. Again, let's do 5% a day. Wait. I think what's the math? Is it 1 times 1.05 would be 5% a day, right? So let's say you got $5,000. Okay, just 5K, right? Now let's say you make 5% a day. All right, so here's the math. So you got $5,000. So you make 5% every day. Let's see how many days it takes to turn that 5K into something ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, so in 100 days, right? In 100 days, 100 market days, if you have $5,000 and you make 5% daily, in 100 days, your $5,000 is going to turn into $750,000. Okay? It's not a reasonable expectation. The amount of risk you have to take to make 5% a day is obviously not sustainable. It's much more likely that you're just going to lose your account eventually if you're desperate to make 5% a day. And again, the math seems like, for people that don't understand the stock market and statistics, they might think it seems reasonable to make 5% a day. Of course it's not. The most elite people in the world make 20-30% a year. It's even 1% a day is not sustainable. Nobody can do that either. And you get people that claim to, but the ironic part is, you get people that claim to make these gains, but when it comes time, if somebody really made these gains, again, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan will give you billions of dollars for that system, it gets to a point where A lot of people just don't understand, and they get taken for a ride. They get manipulated into taking massive risks in the beginning, right? That's what happens. That's why a lot of day traders lose. Terrible marketing. Like nobody makes 5% a day. Nobody makes 1% every day. And the more you try to make gains like that, the higher likelihood you are to destroy your account. You know, the more percentage you try to make daily, the more likelihood you are to lose your account. The more risk you ultimately have to take. And so if you set it out that I got to make 5% every day, you know, it's eventually your account's just going to go bye-bye. Like you're not going to have an account anymore. You're going to lose everything. And that's what a lot of new traders just don't understand. They end up taking crazy risks and they just lose so much money because they get into this terrible mentality from people who, again, just don't know what they're talking about. I always say the same thing, which is the truth, but I hope it makes people understand. But like the Dunning-Kruger effect states that people who know the least about something typically act like they typically think they know the most, right? So basically rookies think they know the most. Experienced people recognize how little they know. That is very true and very common in trading. You know, and trading is one of those industries where this is probably the most true, where you get people who are rookies that don't know any better, that think you can make 5% a day, and they think everybody else is just dumb because they can make 5% a day. And usually what happens is that people end up, like, anybody can take massive risks and try to make a big percentage like that. And you might get away with it once or twice, but the more you try to do that, the higher likelihood you are to lose your account. And so it creates this system that people think they have where they keep adding to losses, or they keep doubling down their size and doubling their size and doubling their size until they win, right? It's kind of martingale roulette strategy type stuff. And so they think they've got some crazy profitable system, and they don't understand why nobody else seems to get it. But eventually their whole account's just like, it'll look like something where you make money, your whole account's gone. You know, that's the real way it works. But people just haven't gotten far enough along yet to realize that that's how it works. So it's a tough game here. You know, you see people do it with options even more often. Like, you see people with options, you know, they think that they've got some system going. They think they got some system. They're like, oh, look at me, I'm making 30%, I'm making 50%, I'm making 100% in options. Man, why isn't everybody doing this? Boom, everything's gone. You know, because options are something in which you know very clearly what your risk is. Your risk is what you're paying for that option. And so, you know, you might have big gains, boom, everything's gone. And that happens a lot. I've seen it happen to a lot of people, and they end up thinking, oh, well, I just made a bad trade. I just did some bad risk management. No, that's how the system works. Eventually the check comes from that type of system. You know, it's not sustainable. Yeah. Yeah. Happened to a lot of people, man. I think it's very common. I've done it before too in the beginning, where, you know, a position keeps turning on you. You know, like, say a position starts to go down. Say you buy at long here, you know, and then it continues to drop. And so then you add double the size here and it continues to drop. And then you add triple the size here and then it bounces back, right? And then you're green, right? Then you're green. Then you're green there. And so, you know, you do that 2-3 days in a row and you make money each time, you're going to think, man, I've got this great system. Look how profitable I am, guys. Look how profitable I am. what people don't realize is that eventually you add to it, it drops more, you add to it, it drops more, you add to it, it drops more. Eventually, it's going to go like this. And your whole account's going to go bye-bye. It's going to be gone. That's what happens to most new traders. That's what most traders that think that they've got some ridiculous 5% a day system, that's what happens to them, you know. Yeah, non-farm payrolls are right below me. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys this. We got a lot of trolls in chat just kind of talking nonsense. I will ban you guys. I don't care how long y'all been here. If y'all start talking about, like, really kind of, like, off things, you are going to get banned in here. I'm just kind of putting that out there. You got some people who are obviously kind of, like, just making fake accounts, trolling. You're going to get banned pretty quick. Just giving you guys a heads up. Friendly warning. Non-farm payroll numbers came in way higher than expected. That signals inflation problems, so the market has reacted negatively to it and dropped. The dollar index has moved up, but I think people fear inflation. Yeah, Pawn's got the hammer ready, guys. The ban hammer. Just be ready. Yeah, because again, I'm going to start checking the history of some of these trolls and seeing if they're ever saying anything reasonable or productive. If they're not, they're just about to get booted out of here. I don't think it's rollover day. It might be. I'll have to check. Why did unemployment go higher? I mean, unemployment's the less important number. Payroll numbers were higher, though. Yeah, so again, we'll see what happens at 11 a.m. or Central Time or at 12 p.m. I'm curious about what Roaring Kitty says. GameStop consolidating mostly sideways with the market. The market's been flat too. Nvidia is the other interesting stock to look at, I think, over like the SPY or anything like that. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia sitting at just under 1200s. So GameStop trying, but I think the market's waiting for the open. So more people getting paid equals bad market. Got it. I mean, again, you guys all have to understand the same thing, which is that a thriving economy is not always good, right? And the public's going to complain regardless. I say this, people get mad at me for saying this over and over again, but it really goes, like, a lot of people don't recognize this. They don't understand this. They want the market to go down. Again, it's an election year, and so people are susceptible to, it's the worst it could ever be right now. It's terrible. Be mad. You know, like you see that a lot this year because it's an election year. And so one side's job is to make everything look rosy. The other side's job is to make everything look like it's the worst it could ever be. And they both battle, and people are really susceptible to that type of stuff. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that a thriving economy is not always good. Like a super strong economy is not always a positive thing. Especially, again, specifically in periods where inflation has been rampant. And then prices have gone up a lot over the last 5 years. And so when that happens, the Fed takes the other side of it, where a thriving economy is not good, and they bring interest rates up to try to discourage the economy, to keep the economy down. Because if it's too strong, too many people are buying and spending, and that makes inflation get worse and worse, and businesses raise prices. And so the Fed's job is to keep it balanced. And so the Fed's been keeping interest rates high, trying to discourage spending. But payroll numbers are still very strong. And so it's one of those situations, and things aren't rosy and great. I'm not trying to act like they are. I'm just trying to say, I told you guys this before payroll numbers come out. I told you guys what the market would probably do with higher payroll numbers. I said, specifically, if you want to rewind the stream, I said if payroll numbers come in high, the market will probably react negatively to it, and the Dixie will spike. Right? And that's exactly what happened. Payroll numbers came in really high. The market fell, and the Dixie spiked. And again, this is very predictable, because you have to understand what the market fears at any one moment of time. And what the market fears right now is inflation. This means less likelihood of a rate cut. The market fears inflation. And so if payroll numbers are way higher than expected, what does that signal? Potentially more inflation problems. And again, the public's going to complain no matter what. If the economy's thriving and inflation's a risk, they're going to complain about inflation, right? If too little people are working and too little people are spending, they're going to complain about a recession or depression. And so, the public's not going to be happy no matter what, but you just got to understand the differences there and what the market fears, and it'll become a little bit easier to predict once you do. Yeah, it's the context of the economy at that moment in time. And so the context of the economy right now is we had 2020 and the pandemic. We had the Fed step in that period of time and do money printing with quantitative easing and stimulus checks, bringing interest rates down to almost zero to stimulate spending, because the pandemic happened and people weren't working. And so the Fed stepped in and brought interest rates down to try to save the economy in that moment. And it did. The economy bounced back pretty quickly after everything was said and done. We also saw some influence of we saw a lot of rebounds economics wise, and the consequence of all that, plus the stimulus checks that were sent out, was inflation. Inflation got up to almost 10%, and so the Fed then had to balance the economy in that regard, and they had to step in and raise interest rates to consumers. And that's what you see right now, is you see mortgage rates at 7%. Real estate is going to struggle in general in these moments of time when interest rates are high, and now the speculation on when the Fed is going to cut rates is here. And I think the higher payroll number signals less likelihood of an earlier rate cut. But again, I don't think we should cut rates, because inflation has a nature in which, if it gets out of control, once it starts to go up, it can really spiral fast out of control, and prices don't go down. The best we can do is slow them down. And so the public can't really handle higher prices again and higher inflation right now, despite how much real estate agents, mortgage brokers, lenders want to bring interest rates down, because again, nobody wants to buy a house at 7%. Nobody wants to get lending with super high interest rates. It certainly hurts their businesses. But again, they're not the priority. Inflation is the priority. And so again, higher payroll numbers signals more inflation and negative reactions in markets. All right, anyways, GameStop still sitting under 40s. People love to argue. Oh, definitely. It is what it is. It's all good. I get it. I can enjoy a lively debate if people can't realize that. And I really do try to stay balanced. You got some YouTube channels that literally just tell you guys the market's, like, again, to a certain extent, if you tell people the market's going to crash, you got a big audience. People will tune in. They want to hear that. People that distrust the system, people that dislike the current administration, politically biased people, to a certain extent, they might want to hear the market's going to crash. That might be music to their ears. You got a lot of contrarians, people that, again, like the movie Big Short and like Michael Burry. You got a lot of people that want to hear the market might potentially crash. And so one of the reasons you get so many people thinking the market's always about to crash now is because you got influencers pandering to those people, telling people, the market's going to crash, we're all doomed. And a lot of them have been saying it every other week for freaking 5 years, 3 years, 2 years. And the market hasn't crashed yet. The thing about markets, though, is that roughly every 5 to 10 years, we do get a correction or a crash. And so eventually they're going to be correct, but it doesn't really mean they're correct. Anybody could keep calling it. If I tell people we're going to hit a recession and 6-7 years go by and then eventually we hit a recession, does it mean I was right? Tesla bounced back up over almost to the 200 EMA. So Tesla trying to fight back. I'm looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin back up to almost 72K. Nvidia at 1190s. So the next is interest rates will go down. People already cannot stay with current causing unemployment. I mean, not necessarily, I think. I think September, the CME watch tool, if you want to know about when interest rates are going to move, the CME watch tool is incredibly accurate. Right, it hasn't been wrong that I've seen over the last 8 months. So the CME watch tool is incredibly accurate. It'll tell you what the probabilities are for rate decisions. Next FOMC meeting is June 12th, next Wednesday. And so you can see during that next rate decision, especially after payroll numbers, 99.4% of people are expecting a pause, another pause. They're not expecting cuts. They're expecting a pause, 99.5%. And again, this is very accurate. Only about 0.6% of people are expecting a 25 basis point cut. The rest are expecting interest rates to stay the same, stay paused at their current levels. And so, we can keep going back and looking. July Fed meeting. Still, most people expecting a pause. 91% of people expecting a rate pause, expecting interest rates to stay the same. A little bit higher, expect a cut. 8.8% expect a cut. 0.1% of people expect a 50 basis point cut. There, the probabilities switch and pivot in September. In September, you can see, but this has changed. So this was at about 60%. This was at about 60% this morning. So it was at 60% this morning because payroll numbers came out higher than expected, signaling what? Less need for rate cuts. If the economy's strong, you don't need to cut rates, despite what, lenders want. You don't need to cut rates if the economy's strong. And so payroll numbers come out high. What happens? This percentage actually goes down a little bit. So this was actually at around 60%, I'm pretty sure, 55.5% this morning. But it's gone down to 50% now. After payroll numbers. And so, again, but it's still almost half of people think we're going to get a rate cut in September. So this is in September. Still, though, about half people expect another pause. So we don't even know if we're going to get rate cuts in December or in September. And again, this could always change. The probabilities, the odds can always change. And then again, you can kind of see in November, most people expecting a pause, or most people expecting a cut, but still 30% of people still expecting a pause in November. And so we'll see what happens. Some people don't expect a cut at all this year. All right, guys, we got 6 minutes. The results were positive Yeah, I heard somebody say this earlier, and I agree. You have to stop looking at it binary, meaning you have to stop looking at it like it's good or bad, and understand that it might be good for some instances, bad for some instances. Higher payroll numbers can be good or bad, depending on the context of the current market and the economy, which the current market and the economy is an inflation-fearing market, and this is what we told you guys before. Current economy and market is inflation-fearing, and so higher payroll numbers is not seen as a good thing, and that's why the market reacted negatively. The Dixie spiked and the equities market dropped. Doesn't mean it's going to hold, but I think the price action certainly shows inflation-fearing markets with the big dip we got from it. We're still red from that report, so what happens now is just price action. But yes, the number was greater than forecast, sure. Hey, thank you, Rudy. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is an old playlist I've built for years. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll see if we get some range. We got the data come out, so we'll see if we get some range. All right, chat, we got 3 minutes left. A little bit over 3 minutes. All right, Tesla at 176. Nvidia fighting back up. It's almost up to 1200s. Look, people listing their jobs online, man. Like, look, Facebook, I'm not one to tell people what I do. But I don't know, man. Like, you see the people who, like, you see a lot of people, and I just think it's obvious. Maybe I'm being too judgmental here, but I think it's obvious where somebody lists their, like, they list their employment on Facebook, and it's such a nonsense thing. Like, I'm an analyst at, instead of listing the company, which is if you really were an analyst or a software developer or wherever at a company, you would list the specific company, but they just say analyst at, and then they type in computer company. Come on now. Everybody knows it's nonsense. It's kind of the same people who list like 30 jobs, 50 companies that don't exist. All right, guys, we got 40 seconds left. 40 seconds left. Let's see what the market gives us. Yeah, worker at job. You know, like, listen, I'm here to tell you, it's better just to not put anything than to put that. Anybody with half a brain knows it's nonsense. 388th like today. Hey, thanks so much. They're an entrepreneur. Yeah. All right, guys, there's the opening bell. NASDAQ dipping down a little bit. We got NVIDIA at 1190s. GameStop at 3705s. Yeah, you might be right, Douglas. Maybe I'm being just a hater. I could be. I might be being just a hater. All right, guys. My computer sounds like a freaking rocket ship right now. All right, Tesla spiking up. It's at 177. It's trying to go green. NVIDIA has fallen fast here. GameStop hasn't really moved at all, though. But look, here's GameStop right here at 40. I'm going to clear a lot of the support levels out so we can just kind of look at it. Again, NVIDIA dipped, and now it's trying to bounce. GameStop down to 37s. I'm going to put the micro contracts up. Is today rollover day? Somebody tell me. I'm going to short this open. 2 contracts there. Take half off. Lock that in. Maybe add to this now. Here we go. Take half of that off. We got 1 contract left. I'm not going to add to this anymore. I just want to see if we flush down. There we go. Short. Took a little bit more off there. All right, we're out. So we just made another $40 scalping micro contracts at the opening bell. GameStop just broke highs. It's up to almost 40. And it's slowing down here. It's not about to get halted, is it? 39.60s on GameStop at the opening bell. 39.60s. Is it about to get halted? GameStop halted at GameStop halted at 39.61s, chat. Weird. Yeah, I don't list anything on mine. Tesla just broke over previous closing price going green. AMC still moving up. Yeah, but I guess what I'm trying to say is it's kind of like me saying, hey guys, I'm the CEO of company, you know, like people are just trying to posture, I guess, for lack of a better word. I don't really want anybody on my Facebook friends list to know what I do, you know. That always brings haters and just insecure people out. Yeah, they got halted quick. I think it's too early. It's strange, man. It is halted on the way up, which is a good thing, I think. Like, getting halted on the way up is better than on the way down. So I'm trying to be optimistic, you know. And again, Roaring Kitty speaks in about an hour and a half. Or, I'm sorry, in about 2.5 hours. Well, then stop trading on the rock. Slow down your size. Trade small. You know, in the end, you're probably trading too large. So GameStop should resume, chat, at 37, at 937. NVIDIA is starting to flush. Again, if you haven't already, check out Apex. You can see me day trading on Apex right now. Apex gives you a demo. They test your skill with the demo account first. I'm going to short. They give you a demo. They give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can pass the test with the demo, they fund you the same amount. If you fail it, you're only out what you pay for it, which is noticeably less usually than you put up trying to day trade yourself with a real account. Again, there's no PDT rule in futures. You can see me. It's very similar to day trading stocks. I'm probably about to cover this position, though, because we got a big bounce back fast. I'll give it 1 second to see if it turns, but yeah, we're going to have to cut it. So we're out. We're still up about 20 bucks on the day. But again, you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. There's no PDT rule. Again, there's no PDT rule. They give you a demo. They test your skill with the demo. If you pass the test, they fund you. If you fail the test, you're probably going to lose less than risking 5K and losing that. And most day traders lose. So it's a great way to learn how to day trade with less risk. Again, you're still probably going to lose day trading, but it's a lot cheaper here. You can get funding between 25K up to 300K with a 90% split. And again, for the time being, you can get the 250K challenge, where if you pass it, you get 250K in funding with a 90% split for $16 if you use my link and coupon code BT. You could also get, like, there's the 25K challenge, which is the smallest one. They give you a 25K demo. If you make $1,500 in profit on the demo without losing $1,500 first and following their rules, they fund you 25K with a 90% split, and they pay out millions. They've paid out almost $200 million to their traders. They fund thousands of traders. It's a great way to learn how to day trade, but again, they are a sponsor. I'm biased because they pay me money. I can't guarantee anything. You want to confirm it all with them. Understand CFTC 4.41 hypothetical or simulated performance have limitations. I do trade off stream. You're not going to see all my trades. Do not copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose. Check out the link right there. See, I put in a new spam filter, and it looks like it's stopping people. All right, we're gonna start shorting this. 2 contracts here. We're gonna add to it 3 contracts. Yeah, in this account, we're up about 3 grand in this funded account on Apex. All right, we took half of that off. But yeah, we're up about 3 grand on this funded Apex account. It's a 50K funded account. All right, we're gonna add to this 3 contracts now. Flush, breakdown, we're shorting. There we go. 2 contracts left. Big retracement back up. Very volatile. Look at GameStop has resumed almost at 42s here, Chad. Almost at 42s. All right, we took half off again, locked it in. Still got a little bit of gains here. Took another half off, scalping that. I'll let the rest ride down. All right, we're out. So yeah, we're up about $65, $70 on the day. Look at GameStop spike. It's at 42.30s. All right, look at AMC. GameStop rip up. It's at 45s here, chat. 45s. 44 halted on the way up. About to go green on the day. It got halted at 39s. It should resume at 44s. Yeah, I'm not saying on the rock. So we used to have a guy that used to come on the streams that would talk a lot like this on the rock. My advice to you, man, is, you know, you get what you put out there in life. If you put out negativity, if you know, in any way you could take it, you're gonna get negativity back, brother. You know, if you put out hate, you get hate. If you put out negativity, you get negativity, brother. Number one, trading-wise, just scale down your size, dude. You're trading way too large, almost certainly, if you're losing that much money. And don't base your existence off of how well you do in trading, because that's going to make you way too emotional. Just use probabilities, trade small, and trade on paper accounts until you have a good sample size of profits. Anyways. GameStop should resume in about 4 minutes. Very flat day. We made some money somehow, but yeah, GameStop squeeze in here, chat. It's halted. It'll resume at 44. At 9:44 market time, it should be back. All right, we're testing the bottom of the range. Still waiting for GameStop. GameStop should open up in about... AMC now technically green on the day. It's back up to $6 a share. Gold still trying. Trying to bounce up again. GameStop at 44s. Nvidia at 1190s. Very flat action. All right, so get ready for GameStop to open up sometime over the next minute, roughly, is probably when it's going to open up. AMC is now halted on the upside at 593s. 593s. AMC is now halted on the upside. Technically green on the day. AMC halted at 593s. Yeah, again, I used to have a guy that came on my stream that said very similar things on the rock. What I'll say is that, and it doesn't look like you're him, but it looks like you're different. What I'm saying is that, what I'll tell you is that, what I'm telling you is that, look, don't base your happiness purely around trading, bro. I would stop trading altogether if it's making you in this type of emotional, mental state. You know what I mean? Anyways, Tesla bouncing up to 179s. All right, here's the resumption. Back up to 47s. GameStop technically green on the day. Bitcoin spiking up. GameStop technically green, almost to $50 a share here. I don't know, man. I've never been a super depressed person. Like, I'm not the type that gets depressed. Like, I've always had confidence enough in my abilities to where, like, no matter how bad things get, I know I can build something else if I need to. Like, if it doesn't work out for me in trading, I'm gonna go do something else. If it doesn't work out with me there, I'm gonna go do something else. And I've always had confidence enough in my abilities to where I'm able to do that. And I've always had enough optimism in my abilities and my future. And I think that's what you got to try to have, is just optimism, man. You know. Yeah. Yeah, alcohol can also do that to you, though. Like, alcohol causes people, you know. Yeah. All right, guys. GameStop rejected the previous closing price, although the market's still very flat, very sideways, very neutral. AMC should be resumed at about 46 right now. So AMC should pop back now. Let's see it. AMC got halted at 41. It should resume right now. Yeah, I would log off, dude. Again, it's all good. I'm not judging you for it on the Rock Trader. What I'm saying is that, like, you seem pretty young, bro, looking at your page, man. Have enough optimism for your future not to let everything rest on this, you know? Nvidia started to bounce back. Market's bouncing back, too. All right, guys, if you haven't already, check out my other sponsor, Chart Prime. It's a trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures, anything with a symbol on TradingView. You can use these custom TradingView indicators. I always try to backtest this live as it happens. And so, again, I'll try to put this up here. I'm going to put the market dynamics and the market oracle, two of their prime indicators. This is a company called Chart Prime. Again, custom TradingView indicators here, and it can just be a powerful thing, right? Like, you can use these in a lot of different ways. Like, look at this triangle pattern, and look at when it breaks, it holds as resistance. So again, it can just work really, really well. It's never going to work all the time. Nothing does, but like, look at this. Like, let's back test just today's action alone here, chat. I'm going to get rid of the market dynamics, but you can see you can use these to show kind of like patterns and stuff like this. But like, let's toss the market dynamics for now. Look at this strong red signal. Bearish action for a freaking long time. This one looks like it worked as well. Look at this strong signal. And this is a 5-minute chart. So this is like 3+ hours of green action after, after you get that signal. Look at this sell signal. Long time drop, like hours and hours of drop. Look at this strong buy signal here. Huge spike up there. Look at this strong sell signal there. Literally called the top of this action, and we broke down here. So again, you can see how powerful these could be. Look at this. Strong signal, boom. Sell signal, boom. Strong signal, boom. Powerful. And you can use this with anything with a symbol. I can put up NVIDIA chart right now and look at NVIDIA and see if it works on NVIDIA right now. And it might not work it all the time. Nothing works. A lot of it is based off of volatility. So if you can find high volatility, there can be some powerful stuff. But again, check it out. Like, look at some of these signals here. So look at this strong signal, follow through, bounce, strong sell signal, a long time. This one probably was wrong. This one might have been wrong, but look at this one. Boom. Sell signal drop. Again, any time frame works on this too. Look at an hourly time frame. What I find to work the best on Chart Prime is looking at which ones are working at any moment and attacking those when a new one shows up, right? So they're not always going to work. You're not always going to have success with them. But like, for an instance, right now, especially over the last few days, the hourly signals have been working. Like, look at this strong signal. Every candle represents an hour. This is days of green action. Look at this sell signal right here. Days of red action. Look at this buy signal right here. Days of bullish action afterwards. And again, you got another sell signal way back here. You got a day or so of red action. So again, find which one works. This is just a small piece of what they offer. It's only $40 a month. Oscillators, backtest your screeners. Really, really cool company. They are a sponsor. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. Not an investment professional, and they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. But if you want to check them out, here's the link. Anything with the symbol, you can use these on TradingView. So anybody that can use TradingView, I'm pretty sure you can use these, but I'm not 100% sure. I would check with them. Anyways. Yeah, listen to John. This channel and the whole practices of trading is not for you. 100%. If you're in an emotional state like that, the last thing you should be doing, brother, is trading the stock market, dude. Too big of swings, man. Too big of swings. You know, it's the same thing I always tell. If you're struggling financially, do not trade. Like, do not trade. It's the last thing you should do. Again, it makes it too emotional of a game for you. And again, I wish you the best. I hope you get it figured out. Like, what my advice is to find interests that you genuinely enjoy outside of stock market and immerse yourself in those interests. You know, figure out something that gives you meaning in life, something that you genuinely enjoy doing. And if you don't have anything like that, go to the bookstore and just look around, see what piques your interest, brother. That's the best advice I can give you, dude. Good luck. Yeah, GameStop. AMC is up over the previous closing price. Again, we're looking at GameStop, which is halted on the downside this time. Not the best move here. Halted on the downside. It should resume at 51, which is right now. So let's see GameStop resume. The SPY and the market have bounced all the way back up. Yeah, go to the gym, dude. The gym helps, man. People don't understand. Like, dude, I used to be 120 pounds when I was like 20, like 130 pounds. I was tiny, you know. I was never really the type to be like depressed or anything like that. But all right, GameStop's back up. It's at 45. But going to the gym helps, brother. Like, it'll give you confidence, man. And confidence helps depression for sure. So you start going to the gym, you know. It's going to be a transitionary period where it's going to be kind of a struggle at first. You're going to have to learn if you don't go, but you know. AMC at 560s. Nvidia up to 1200s. AMC and GameStop turning back down here, chat. All right, guys. So again, Roaring Kitty speaks later on this morning. We'll see what that looks like. All right. All right, guys, so we are going to be doing a crypto show today, chat. So we are going to be doing a crypto show. So stick around, guys. We're doing a crypto show today. Should be fun. All right, guys. So again, we are going to be doing a crypto show. Again, if you want to day trade with me, we're up a little bit right now. This looks like bullish, but I'm going to short this because we've kind of had choppy behavior here. So I'm going to short this. We're going to add a little bit more to it. And we're going to see if we get we're up a little bit on the day. I'll probably take this last trade and we'll see what happens afterwards. But again, if you want to day trade with me like I'm doing now, you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks, but there's no PDT rule. These funded account programs are allowed that, you know, allow you to get started for noticeably less risk. And so if I lose on a funded account program, it's not the end of the world. But if I can build up an account, then I'm taking much less risk and I'm able to roll it into something. And I think that makes sense. Apex is one of the most legit ones in the world. And so again, if you want to get the max discount at all times, use my coupon code BT. You can see it in the description. It'll get you the max discount. You can get the 250K one for $18 after tax. So pretty cheap. So we're down about 35 bucks from this day trade here. I'm kind of shorting it. I'm looking to play the range is what I'm kind of looking to do. And again, don't go anywhere because as soon as we close this stream down, we're going to go to our crypto show. So you can stick around, watch a crypto show as soon as we close this stream down. So you won't have to go anywhere. And, you know, again, it should automatically bring you to the crypto show. We're going to be talking about Roaring Kitty, a lot of cool stuff. All right, so we're back in. There we go. Now we're making money on this trade. Boom, short, covering. And we're out. So yeah, we are up over $100 now on the day. Again, kind of scalping these momentum moves here. And so I hope that makes sense. Like, again, this is futures trading. I'm basically day trading the Q. There's no PDT rule in futures. I can day trade, short, all that cool stuff. No PDT restrictions. But again, we are going to be doing a crypto show today. I'm going to post this link here, chat, so you'll be able to check out the crypto show today. And so again, don't go anywhere. And yeah, we're going to be doing a crypto show. So stick around. If it doesn't bring you to the crypto show, I'll put the link up just so you can go to it. But yeah. Wait, did I post it? Oh, dude, I think I did post it. Oops. I posted it on the wrong channel. I meant to put on beginner crypto. Yep. All right, there we go. Whoops. All right, so yeah, we're doing it on the crypto channel, not this one. I do think we're gonna have choppiness, although this does kind of look like a cup and handle breakout pattern. All right, so here's the link to the crypto channel, guys. If you want to check it out, here's the link. Again, we're gonna be doing a crypto show as soon as we close this stream. It should bring you to the crypto channel, chat. So again, all right. There we go. All right, so we are in that range bound movement here. Tesla's pretty flat as well. Sorry, I'm putting my disclaimers up. So flat market. All right, here we go. If it doesn't bring you to the stream for whatever reason, here's the link. There's the link if it doesn't bring you there. I'm going to start that stream up now. Again, as soon as we end the stream, it should automatically bring you there, chat. It should automatically bring you there. If it doesn't, for whatever reason, go to that link right there. Again, here we go. We're going to start live streaming right now.